Hello everybody, welcome to my workshop. Welcome to my very irregular Tuesday night lives. Tonight we're going to be, as the title said, exploring the core. I've got a Mcnaughton coring system that was very kindly gifted to me by Lewis, the Klondike craftsman. So I've been practicing with it, and I finally think I've got to the stage where I'm willing to do it in public, yes, so to speak. So I got along tonight. The only other person I know who's got a Mcnaughton coring system, which is Wayne. So Wayne, you drew the short straw.
Who's that then? You've got me on.
Well, you've got the Mcnaughton. Don't say you haven't, because I've seen you use it out on a VB. Oh, there's Dan. Dan's in. Welcome along, Dan Smith from Daily
Dan.
Hello.
And any second now, I know Doug Miller's going to be popping in as well. So we'll have a full house to see me do this, which let me change to the headstock camera. That's the piece of wood we've got. It's a piece of beech. It's 14 inches in diameter, and it is approximately, or not even approximately, I can tell you exactly, 7 inches deep. So Wayne has reliably informed me that I should get a 14-inch bowl and at least a 12-inch bowl out of the middle. So I'm going to start roughing this down to shape, and then I'll go through all the markings, how we measure it up. We do all the markings on the bowl, turn it around, and core it. But I am going to wear a visor tonight, because this thing has got bark on and it's gnarly. So I'm going to be wearing this. There's Doug. Bring him in.
Howdy.
Hello, Doug.
Hey, guys. How are y'all?
Hi, Doug.
Good. Thank you.
Evening.
Put myself on the screen. There we go. So you guys can sort out who's in and tell me all that. They're going to answer the questions or ask me the questions. And I'm just going to take my headset off and put my visor on a sec.
Okay, I'll start letting people know who's in. We've got Andy, door 60 in. Doug's obviously here. Shane Hurst, even Shane. Brian with a Y. Zed's in, so no doubt we'll be getting some dad jokes.
Some really bad jokes,
yeah. Pete, Twisted Trees and Ruby are in and about. Fred Gilliver, Mick Hughes, Todd at Glen Cove, Raymond Wise. Just going down the list. Wivy, Woodshed, Jason Leveron, Rob from Klingspor, Terry Bartlett, James Crawford.
That's a bit of a bounce at 560, but I'm going to go with that.
Ruben Woodcraft, Tony Smith, Susie's in. Douglas Mungham's in. Still going down. Bruce is in. Kevin 9K. Greenhaven Creations. Anthony Green. And I think that's me. If I've missed anybody, I apologise. Stick another comment in and I'll see if I can catch you. Jonathan Flynn from New York. He's just come in. Was it quite wet then, Mark?
Actually, no, it's not as wet as I thought it was. It's quite a bit drier. So, let's see how we get on. Quite a bit drier.
Can you let Dan back in? He must have been chucked out.
That's usually my problem.
Sorry, I was saying night to the girls, and what I thought was muted it, and actually managed to kick myself out.
Have you got the noise cancelling on that, Mark?
Sorry, mate, say again.
Have you got the noise cancelling on?
Yeah, it should be.
Yeah, Kev just said that you're drowning me out a bit when I was speaking. Yeah, we are getting a lot of noise from the lathe.
Hold on.
Sorry, everyone. My 3-year-old wants to say night to everyone. Go on.
Okay.
Night,
Night
night.
night.
Yeah, you see, 3-year-old live appearance there for you.
Yeah.
All right.
We've got lots of
already
night nights
started.
coming out in the chat.
Test. That's better. How's that? Is that better?
Well, we'll see when you start cutting. That's better.
Yeah. Stephen the Wood Dude is in.
Hey, Stephen.
So what sort of diameter is that then, Mark?
14-inch diameter. 7 inches thick. Just doing a series of draw cuts and push cuts just to rough it out.
Sorry, I know I missed the start of this. Is this a new toy you've got then, or is it something you've had a while?
No, I've had it for a while. Lewis, the contact craftsman, gave it to me because he switched to the one-way coring system, and he didn't particularly like this one, so he sent it to me. I must admit, I've used the one-way system, and it is easier.
So which one's this one? Is this the woodcut one?
No, this is the
No, this is-
Mcnaughton.
Oh, the Norton one. Okay.
This one gives you a little bit more option to your cores.
Yeah, but that ain't necessarily a good thing.
That's a good point.
Because the woodcut have just introduced the bigger one over here, I think.
Yeah.
It's something that we keep. Well, we want to get. We've not plucked up the courage to get one yet.
I mean, for a bowl turner, I can see it. It makes sense. I mean, I had a blank. I had a practice today, so that's another piece. And there's one I took out of the inside. So that, instead of existing the shavings on the floor, is a bowl. So it's smaller because the edge was very punky. I had to reduce the height down. So financially, it kind of makes sense, you know.
And it's less mess. Door 60 Andy's just come back in, and Mick Hughes has got a question for you. Mark, will you be doing this as a demo in Harrogate? Because
No,
I
I
need to know
won't.
how much safety. I need to know how much safety gear to bring.
Nick, I'm not doing this. No.
Joe Garofalo's just come in.
So is that green then, Mark?
No, not quite.
Yeah, Rob said if he's doing that at Harrogate, he's wearing a crack helmet. Andrew's just come in. EGK.
Pressure.
Oh, it's still flat.
Yeah, we're not going to talk. We're not going to talk to Robert Klingsabor about stealing my demonstrator at Harrogate.
It's all right. I know you've got replacing me, Dan, so he's new to the circuit, but I'm sure he'll do a good job.
I was talking about Harrogate, not Maker Central, that you've also seemingly bailed on me. You know, I give you that opportunity at Newark, and then I give you that opportunity at Newark. I get your own little stand, and then you just disappear on me like that.
Yeah, but I don't like makers.
How do you know you've never been?
I just don't want to go.
No, but that's not what you said. You said you don't like it.
Yeah, but I don't like it, so I'm not
You
going to
can't.
go.
You can't make these profound statements and not explain yourself, can you? So come on.
It's too
Now is the time.
It's too
To you-
YouTube.
It's coming from the man who's going live on YouTube at the moment.
This sounds a little contradictory, doesn't
Yeah.
Douglas has just said, Fluffy, are you and Terry having a badge competition?
it? Yeah. Jason had said, I think Mark needs a couple more patches on his smock.
This is my demo smoke. It hasn't got. It's got all these badges on it. It ain't got the two important ones.
Rob from Copperell's just come in.
Hey, Copper.
Just in case Ruby's watching, I better turn it off.
There's a few questions on the line of how do you know if you haven't been?
I've allowed myself to be reliably informed by people who have been.
That's like my children saying, I don't like vegetables, even though they've not tried a certain vegetable. It's exactly the same thing.
I've formed an opinion. God, it's still big flat there. God. Formed an opinion based on other people's experiences.
Well, I think you've been speaking to the wrong people. Don't you agree, Wayne?
Very possibly. Mind you, I did put it down the other week. But
Well,
then
that's
again,
true.
I was going to say, you were one of them.
It was strange because last year felt quite quiet, but as a stand and as a social side of it, I had a really good time last year.
I think a lot of people do go, certainly now, a lot of people do go for the social side of things.
I think it's the only show that is probably more heavier swayed towards the social side.
Yeah.
You know, you go to Harrogate and it's kind of all about people like me trying to sell you stuff that you don't necessarily need. You go to Makers and it's a lot more emphasis on demonstrations and just speaking to people. Maybe Mark don't want to go because people don't want to talk to him. I don't know. Do you think he's had some bad experiences with being shunned by YouTubers in his past?
Yeah, something like that.
I'm going just for Colin Furze this year. I'm not going to. Well, I'm not. I mean, I'm going because I've got a stand there. But if I was going on my own, it'd be because of Colin Furze.
Steve Ashler Turner's just come in.
So I'll switch couches because the other ones had it.
Well, with the help of my good lady wife loaning me some money, I'm now going to Makers this year.
Yeah, how come yours was such a last-minute attendance, Wayne?
I don't know. We were just having a chat last night, and it was actually Wayne Bigfoot had put in about the cost of the cost he paid for a hotel room at the Hilton, and I thought, bloody hell, that's cheap.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You see, we always do Airbnbs.
Yeah.
So you end up with, but it's fine for a business because you get a 3-bedroom house that might cost you, I don't know, it might cost you 400 quid for 3 nights.
Yes.
So it works out really well. But that's the one thing that if I was just going on my own, I think I'd be stopping in one of the hotels because you seem to get the social catch up.
I mean, last year's wasn't so good because I think a lot of people shunned the Hilton because of the hassle they had with getting money back from the 2021 that got cancelled. And then they were shut for refurbishment and everything. So I don't know if it's still going to be the same this year, but whatever happens afterwards, it's especially on the Saturday with the I don't know if you went last year, Dan, to the Vetric thing, the free pizza.
Oh no, I didn't know.
Yeah, because the
I
Vetric always.
I think that was a special invite that Jamie. Did you and Jamie get invited to that? I don't think it was everyone, was it?
To tell you the truth, I've been invited to that every year that Makers has been on.
Have you?
Yeah.
It's because you make Clasperonis.
Yeah, no, we're very fortunate that we normally team up with Merca at that show, and they've got a very healthy corporate expenses account, which we like to abuse where we can.
Right, Susie is asking you, Dan, if there are any tickets left for the second raffle.
I've not looked. I'll have a look. I'll have a look now.
Now sold out, and will you be doing the drawing soon?
We have got 9 tickets left. So that's all we've got left. 9 tickets, and then we'll get the draw done ASAP. Then.
Put the links.
I'll do it now. I'll do it now.
Peter Kelly has joined us. He's been here all along, but he's been stuffing his face, he says.
Oh, I don't think I've got a spanner on this one.
Hold on. Don't call me phone. Hold on. It's a good opportunity for me to have a break for a second.
It's a lovely bit of wood, that, Mark.
It's pretty, isn't it?
Hmm.
Apparently I'm live.
Yeah.
So how?
Yes, Douglas, I did see your comment. Thank you very much, but it's sorted. And as generous as you have been in the past, thank you. But we're all sorted on that account.
Dan, just put a comment in the chat, will you? Just anything, test or.
Yeah.
Bear with us, folks. Just a bit of housekeeping. Just for that, you can only have standard monitor.
Oh, oh, how
Oh,
very
so
cruel!
you pay the price, see?
Wow, So,
Princess.
you know,
It's okay
There,
though,
yeah.
because I do call him Sugar Plum as well.
the
Right,
worst
I've
thing
got
is I
rid of-
started answering to it.
You have. I've got rid of the flat, so I'm just going to.
Oh, Douglas. No, not Douglas. Kev. Kev said, not Fluffy Princess.
Right, Jamie's just about to come in, Mark, in the next 5 to 10 minutes.
Okay. Right. So that's the shape. Don't worry, I haven't forgotten. I've got to do the 10 now.
Zed says, I linked all my watches together into a belt. I call it a waste of time.
Oh, he gets worse, that man.
Yeah, exactly.
Douglas, Mark did a blood sugar check just before we went live, and it's all fine. Kim's just popped in, Mark.
Hey, Kim.
Hi, Kim. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. She's gone. We can talk
gone
about it
again.
now.
I thought that
Right,
was your blood. Thought that was your blood sugar for a minute.
Right, Rob from Klingsport is asking Dan, what size wheels are on the Arbitec, the
That is
discs? I think they're 2-inch, aren't they?
2-inch.
Yeah, I think the 50 mil. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wheels on the bus go round and round. Oh, sorry, different wheels.
Andy Bundy Rose just come in.
Hello, Andy.
Yeah, one bigger.
No, Kim says she's
Oh,
still
no.
here.
I'm not
I'm
sure of the bore size, but I think it's the same size as the the Proxon. I think it's the same size as the Proxon.
I'm just having a look now.
Because you can use the same cutters.
It's got bore size of 9.5 or 7.4
There you go.
millimeters.
Woodturning by Barry is in. Bobby says he thinks it's a 10 millimeter.
Yeah, it's it's got I believe it's got it's 9.5 and it's also got like a step down or like a collet that goes in it.
Okay.
Right, so I'm just going to use a 1/2-inch spindle gouge just to clean up
Jamie's
the edge
backstage,
of this.
Mark.
Okie. There he is.
Hello, everybody.
Hiya,
Hello,
Jamie.
mate. Thanks for coming
Sorry
in.
I'm late. I was buying shorts.
I did that yesterday.
That's irrelevant information.
I had
How
a
is everybody?
TK Maxx journey just for shorts yesterday.
I went to Sports Direct this time.
Oh, classy.
I was going even higher class than that. I went to Sainsbury's, but they didn't have anything.
Stop it.
I was looking for pink fluffy ones, but I didn't want to copy Mark.
Yeah, the one.
Come on, Jamie.
I do not have pink fluffy shorts.
It could be arranged, Mark.
Yeah, it could. Yeah, we got any seamstresses in the audience.
Oh, my mum was a professional seamstress for about 30 years.
We could have it with a full outfit.
Can we get that idea
Good.
out of the head?
So if we could get you some
Okay.
fluffy shorts, Mark, would you wear them?
What about a
What
smock?
bloody tutu?
Fluffy smock.
That's not the question you need to ask. The question you need to ask is, if you got me them, would I be allowed to wear them? And being that my fashion guru is in the chat, she would probably say,
I think that's a little bit unfair saying she's your fashion guru.
she's my fashion guru.
I'm not sure she'd ever own up to that.
Yeah, she would. I'm gonna
I
put
think
this-
I think he's halfway there already. Because what's all that pink in the background there?
Yeah, what is all that?
Shh, shush. That's shush.
That's Rhino Grip. That's an Indasa product. That's not Klingspor.
Shut up.
That's appalling. I mean, it's a great product because I sell it, but
I know. I bought it from you.
yeah, but that's definitely what that is. It's a full wall of it, Mark. It's not just a small amount, is it?
It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 grids, and there's about 20 meters left on each roll. What am I supposed to do? Burn it?
Right.
No, no. I mean, yeah.
Did you notice he put the guard on his grinder, but
Oh yeah.
he didn't
Oh
hide.
yeah.
He didn't hide all the abrasive though.
Where's me? Oh, there it is. Standing there looking for me, Chuck.
Oh, it's thrown him as that, isn't it? It's thrown it. He's been caught out.
Rob,
That's
sorry.
like the equivalent of
Actually,
not
Rob's
using your
been here
second
and he's
phone.
seen it. Rob's been here and he's seen it. First thing he said when he walked into the workshop was, "What's that?"
I find that abrasive reps and manufacturers are actually quite sociable with each other. They seem to all understand that there's different products for different things, and they're kind of accepting of that.
Oh, you bugger. Not you.
I thought I was going to have a standoff between the Merca rep and a Stark rep about 3 or 4 weeks ago. But worryingly, they got on quite well.
You've left that bit in the middle too long, Mark.
Yes. Lodge that down there.
Rob says it's okay. I see some real abrasives.
Yeah, the question is he talking about Mark's personality?
Well,
Oh, you're making a job of that, aren't you?
You need to sharpen it, I think, Mark.
The best thing to do is not make him laugh when he's doing it, because that would really tip him over the edge.
Stop it. Right, so it's in. Go for that. That's the tenon.
Have we
Now
not got a
we've got
longer
to do all-
chunky?
Yeah, we have,
No, just asking.
but I don't need it for this. Right, there we go. And that's almost running true. So, I'm just going to face off the front, get it level, because it's not level. So for that I can go for my overhead camera, which Wayne will attest. I was climbing on chairs and things earlier to try and get this camera in position for you all.
Oh, Susie's asking the question saying, did we see Lucy's comment on the smoke? Must have missed that, Susie.
Well, we can have a look.
I'll be honest, I tend to try and ignore Lucy.
Now, Lucy said, Dan, imagine how much the shavings would stick to a pink fluffy smock.
Yeah, I mean, as
Oh,
far as I'm
yeah.
concerned, that's fair game. That would just add to the entertainment value, as far as I'm concerned.
And Kev said, question, is the paper, talking about the abrasives again, is the paper hanging down so Mark doesn't have to shave his head when he walks under it?
If he walks in the right direction, he gets a nice polish by the time he gets to the other side.
Good idea, actually, yeah.
If anything, like Wayne, when he wears a smock whilst turning it, misses the smock entirely and goes straight on the inside of it.
It does.
I don't know how he manages it.
Right. That should be. I keep going for the mouse to turn the lathe off. That's a new one.
it won't work.
No, it won't. Right, so one facing cut from the outside in.
What horsepower motors that lathe got then, Mark?
3 horsepower, and I want
Is it
the
a 3,
lowest
is it?
belt. Yeah.
Right. Because some of them, some of these coring systems don't recommend anything under 2, do they?
No.
That's right.
And I think that's a drawback for a lot of people, because I think there's quite a few people that have utilised it but don't have the power. What horsepower is yours, Jamie? Is that a 3?
No, I believe it's a 2.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Which I found quite surprising, to tell you the truth.
I did, for the size of that lathe, I was surprised it was 2. Right,
Mhm.
so now we get to do all the drawing.
That said, the 2 Zebranos that we've got in the classroom are both 2 horsepower.
Well, you need 2 horsepower to drive all those flashy lights.
Yeah, they are. They're very pretty.
They are.
Chisky's in, and he's asking, has anybody tried running a small lathe with a battery power station? I'm doing a live demo next month with my Laguna 1216, and I'm going to try it. Now, who did I see doing this?
Somebody did, wasn't it Roy?
No, it was Andy Phillip. Andy Phillips did a
yes.
he did a box opening type thing of one of these super duper battery things.
Wasn't that the video? It was the first time you heard his voice.
I think it probably was.
Yeah.
And he
freaky
uses. He's got the same type of lathe as me, which is the Axminster 406, and he used it on that, and it worked absolutely fine. But this was a serious bit of kit he was using.
Right.
The draw power on them, I mean, you look at sort of a 1 horsepower lathe. I think the draw on them is about 500 watts?
I'm not too sure, tell you the truth.
Yeah, I don't
Right,
know.
so we've reduced this down because of the flats and everything. We've now got a 12-inch bowl as the maximum diameter. So,
Is it all right? Scratch on top of his head, Annie.
Further back towards your headband. There.
Oh,
To the top.
so I'm going to go just over an inch from the inside. And then you need to use a ruler. It's quick. It's easier with a ruler. You need to mark 3/8 of an inch. So that's 1, 2, 3. Because that is the size of the curve on the cutting blade. So that's the diameter of the bowl. Did I miss it completely? No. Missed it completely. Try that again.
Yeah, Chisky said it's a 0.75 kilowatt motor, which is a 1 horse motor.
And then
so your starting current's about 30 amps on that.
Yeah.
3/8 there.
I think once it gets going, I think it would just be a starter, wouldn't it? But I don't know how long
It
you get of
would.
it. I keep looking at these battery packs with the solar panels that you can kind of take camping and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And I think Brothers Make have got one. I think they did a bit of a video.
Yeah, they
on,
did one
on
and
theirs.
each, didn't they?
Yeah, and they look pretty good, but I just don't know. They're a lot of money to chance, aren't they?
Might have to spin it to get it going.
Yeah,
Right.
possibly.
So the inside diameter of the bowl left is going to be 9 inches. So just short of an inch. And then
Oh, Zed. How did the Scottish zombie end up undead? He was half killed.
Oh, God.
Oh dear.
It's pretty sad.
What, the story or the joke?
both. Right. I'm not just doing this for your benefit, folks. This is what you're advised to do, to mark out the bowls.
Mm-hmm.
So you mark out your cutting, because you need to transfer these markings to the top. Now what I'm going to do is just turn the lathe off a sec. And put the spindle lock on. So from the bottom of the bowl, which is there, I want to mark 1 inch,
Excuse me.
3/8, and then not quite an inch, and 3/8. So I've got these marks now, because this is a rough turning, so it doesn't matter about the markings. Right. Now we're going to use the blade. So the blade's going to finish, if I go to zoom, maybe you guys can see better. Well, that was clever. Right. I don't know why I did that. So, can you see? No.
No, that's worse.
It was better with it off, mate.
Right, there you
There
go.
There you go.
Yep.
Right. So there is where the blade should finish when it cores out the bowl. So what you need to do, I need to remember to do this one first. Duh. So I'm going to do the small bowl first.
No, I wouldn't do the small bowl first.
No, I was right. Do the big bowl first and then turn it round. So I've got that in its finished position. And in one smooth motion, if I just pinch the blade about there, in one smooth motion, bring the blade back round to its entry angle. Oh, that's good. That points
Just a little bit off
right.
camera, Mark, is that?
Yeah, I can't do anything about that because the arm on this thing is 3 feet long.
I'll just close
So
my
what
eyes and imagine.
So what I'm doing is I'm sighting down the handle. That's the entry angle for the tool. And I'm sighting down the handle, and the end of the handle is pointing to a G-clamp that's holding my computer onto the wagon. So I know that when I'm back here, that's the angle I need to go into. So if I go back out, this one.
Right,
Ooh,
Paul Hackney's just come in and he said you can
So-
do coring with a 1 horsepower lathe. You just have to put it in the lowest gear and take smaller cuts.
right.
Right, so
Yeah,
I'll
they
do it
said,
on the
they
bigger
said you
camera.
could do it with a Coronet Herald, but I never saw anyone do it.
They were quite talky machines, though, weren't they, the Herald?
Yeah. I was never going to try doing it in case I broke it.
Right. So can you see what I've done there? Just do it one
Yep.
more time. That's
better.
that's the end position.
Mm-hmm.
Lock my hand on the blank and just pinch the blade between my thumb and forefinger. Smoothly draw the blade back round in its own arc. This is my camera. And that's the entry position. When it goes in on this line, I'm pointing at that clamp. Okay? So that's the angle I need to go into the wood.
Right, Mick Hughes has said, do you need a choke point on what would be the smaller bowl? Now, the way that I've done this in the past, I've used a small faceplate ring initially to do the
Right.
outside of the bowl. And then when you come to core the biggest of the inner bowls, then it can be just flipped back around again to put another tenon on the bottom,
You
and then
could
flip
put
back around again to do the smaller bowl.
You could put a faceplate on here. You could dig out a mortise. Or you could do what I'm going to do, which is core, turn it round, use the bigger bowl as a jam chuck, cut a tenon on the piece I've taken out, take that out, take this off the chuck, put the other one back in the chuck, and do it that way. So there's 3 ways you can do it. I could just cut this right now, cut a mortise into this bit. I could actually. There's no reason why.
What's the cutting tip on that tool then, Mark? Is it just the HSS?
Yes.
All right.
Yes, but it's brazed on, so you should never sharpen the top, because this top piece is very thin. So all you need to do is a diamond card just up from the
All right.
onto this forward edge. There's some discussion that these tools work better with this front leading edge flat instead of
That was
diamond shaped.
the old style. I'm sure.
Well, somebody was saying that they've tried it with a new one, and it worked
Because
with that as well.
I've got both sets of blades.
Spindle lock still on, Mark.
So I the
I've
still
got
turned off.
the
Thank you, Jamie.
I've got the diamond point and I've got the angled point as well. Well, Paul said he used to have a 1 horsepower VivoMax DB1000 and used that to do coring okay.
Yeah. I core with the Mcnaughton on my Nova that's 1.5.
And Paul has said that the tips are stellite, which is harder than high-speed steel.
We've got a DB 1000, 2 horsepower in the classroom. It's got some grunt on it, to be fair.
Mike from Dances with Advarks has just come in.
How you doing?
All right, so that's just a beading parting tool to take 2 nice cuts. Where's my favorite gouge? And I'll just take this bit out.
And Lewis has just come in.
Lewis. Hey, Lewis.
Hey, Lewis, this is
How you doing?
all down to you, buddy.
Yeah, Lewis's fault.
Yeah, absolutely. Now that mortise doesn't have to be pretty, but it has to be functional.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Let's get this baby set up. This is what we're all here for. So you got the crown, or the castle, sorry. Castle. It's very appropriate for this week.
For Coronation Week.
So this is the castle. Now I leave these loose. I've watched so many videos on this, and the 2 videos I've watched the most, the guys, one was worth the effort, and the other one, I can't remember his name, but he's a demonstrator in the States. He was doing a club demo, and they both said, leave these so that they can rotate. They can be locked down, but it's better to be able to use them
Yes,
so they move. Do you have this system, Doug?
absolutely.
Oh, right.
I've got the old one with the red handle.
I've got the red handle. I've just put this on a Simon Hope one.
Oh, okay,
It's
okay.
more comfortable.
I thought maybe they changed it.
No. Right. So that there.
You want to change camera, Mark?
Headstock maybe.
Headstock?
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
I'll just do tailstock for a second because that might give. Right. So that's the angle that I'm entering the wood at. So that angle there, that's pointing at a clamp that you guys can't see. Right? The belt's on the lowest belt, so I've got the maximum torque. That's my entry point. There's nothing more to do but actually just do it. So I'm at 700 revs. make sure that you are applying upward pressure on the handle.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're not, when you get the wood in contact with the blade, it will fling this up against this and scare the living out of you. Don't ask me how I know.
And you're cutting on centre, just below, just above?
Just below center.
Just below. Now, I don't know if you can see, but the castle part is actually stepped, and that's for using different sized blades. And on this, unlike the one way or the woodcut, it's got the handle to pull towards you. You actually push this straight in. You don't give any outward pressure towards you.
Right. I watched Russ Fairfield do some coring at the AAW one year, and he did it with his thumb and 2 fingers. That's all he had on the tool.
But you can see I'm getting shavings. It's not dust. Those are shavings.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if this hasn't just slipped a little because that feels way below center.
How does the center point on that line up with the back of the handle? Is it because once it's in there, I think I'd struggle to work out if it was going in flat.
No, the handle's quite considerably higher than
Right.
the cutting
On
point.
the center point.
Yeah.
Than the cutter, sorry, yeah.
I presume you could just get one of them little mini spirit levels, couldn't you? Just put it on the handle or something.
I just wondered how easy it was to gauge once it was in there.
It's more of a use it and understand it kind of a deal. At least that's been my experience.
Yeah, it's just like I've seen the woodcut one, and the woodcut one kind of it's a preformed shape, isn't it? There's no inward motion, as it were. It's more of a sideward pull.
Exactly.
Yeah, and with the woodcut, you get semicircles every time.
Yeah.
Mm.
You do need to clear it out regularly.
Kev is asking, how do you know when you're close? You sometimes get a change in tone of the cut.
Yeah.
You can actually just go in and do a couple of test movements with a screwdriver or some sort of bar to see if the inner bit is actually moving.
Sometimes you know when that core comes flying out.
Yep,
Well,
there is that.
that was when whilst I'm watching that was my one consideration was what do you do with the bit that's potentially going to come out? Because that's kind of everything that I stand for trying to avoid when I use a lathe.
Okay, with the speed that Mark's going, if he does go all the way to the centre and it comes loose, it's just going to drop down.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
684. So I'm just going to drop the speed a little bit.
I've seen people kind of hit it with a dead blow hammer.
Yeah.
Just to break that last bit. I've seen is it Dan Young on Instagram? He seems to do a lot of coring.
Yeah. That's what happens if you don't clear the chips out.
Yeah.
Did that just cut out then, Mark? Does it just
Yeah,
cut
well,
out?
the Axminster does.
Does it?
Yeah, so you need to turn it off, turn it back on.
So what's your ideal moisture content for using these things then? Is it a kind of a slightly damp? Does it how do
Yes.
the cope with dry?
They do cope, but
They do go, but it's
I've
better
found,
with greenwood.
yeah, you get better shavings coming out with wood that's certainly either green or only slightly dry.
Yeah.
Douglas Mangum says, Wayne, could a glue block be used to hold the small centre bowl?
Yes, it could quite easily.
So how far down do you think you are with that then, Mark?
Nowhere near yet.
Nowhere near.
Just resetting the lathe. Because the Axminster, if you stall it, it does reset.
Hi, Rob. Yeah, Paul's saying you get more smoke with dry wood.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think the last coring I did was on some cherry that was not, it was not green, but it had rainwater in it. And that was a different kind of experience.
Had rainwater in it.
Well, it was a whole tree trunk that had been sitting out in the rain for a couple of years.
Oh, right, I'm with you. Yeah.
And so it had water in it, literally water, not cell moisture.
Right. Yeah.
And so the wood was still solid, no punkiness to it.
Right.
I've turned
Mark,
3 out of the 6
Is
blanks.
there a reset button on the motor?
Oh, there might be. Bear with.
Jason says, blew a breaker? Question mark.
No, I didn't blow a breaker because the breakers are still on. There we go.
Oh.
Right.
What was that then? What caused that?
That's the overload protection.
Right.
So I overloaded it by stalling completely. I didn't hit the off button quick enough. So the system shuts down completely. And then you have to reset, allow it to under power. So it wastes all its power that's in the
Yeah, the capacitors and all that.
capacitor box down below.
Yeah.
And then turn it back on again. So you don't do what I did, basically.
Yeah, small cuts and clean out the kerf quite regularly.
And that's the balance with this thing between speed and the speed that you run it with.
Quite a violent experience.
There seems a lot of movement in that.
Eh?
Bit like meeting Lucy.
Looks to be a bit of a workout.
It is.
Oh, it can be. It can be.
Yeah.
Or can wear you out.
wonder if you could make a jig where you could constantly have air blowing inside of it.
Yeah, just the airline set up at the bottom.
Yeah.
What's that?
So you got constantly blowing chips out.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea.
That's what your apprentice is for, Mark.
Yeah, there you go.
He can hold the airline, just permanently blow air into it. It's that return. It's that return that gets me, where you've got to pull out to clear it out.
Yeah.
It's a shame that there isn't a way of it clearing out without having to remove that tool, really.
Yeah, like a self-cleaning cutter or something.
Yeah, I don't know. Really.
There
There
we
we
go.
are.
Hey,
It
you're
certainly
Mark.
did drop, Wayne, right to the floor.
I don't think that didn't even hit the banjo, though, did it?
No.
No.
Hold on, let me just pick it up and show you. I will turn the lathe off in a minute.
It's stuck in the wall.
Nah.
I'm just gonna remove that from the stud work.
No, literally, it's just under the lathe. There you go. Oh,
There you
tell you
go.
what,
That's more conical than I expected.
I'm knackered.
Just check your
Right.
blood sugar level, Mark.
Yeah, no, I'm not worried about my blood sugar. I'm worried about the depth. I think I've gone way deep.
Real
Yeah,
deep.
funny.
I think I've gone down into the... Oh, bloody hell, I have.
What, you
Went
gone
into
down
the
in the
tenon.
tenant?
Yeah. So is that 5 and there?
Lucy said she almost ducked. Lucy, it would have gone over your head anyway.
It's going to be a
Yeah.
thin base.
That was a prime opportunity for 3D YouTubing then.
Yeah, that has gone. So what have I done wrong there then? Because I thought I was ultra
Did
careful.
you mismeasure it? Did you use your depth gauge?
No, I didn't. Bloody hell, Jamie. No, I didn't use my depth gauge.
You may have used too flat a blade, Mark. The next tighter
Well, that
blade
one's-
might work better.
See, now Wayne and I were talking about this beforehand, weren't we, Wayne?
We were.
I've got 2 blades. One is quite rounded, and that one's quite shallow. Should I have used that one? Because I thought that one would go down in further. Whereas this
Compared
one,
to what show both of them at the same time.
so there's that one, and there's that one.
Yeah, you used the sharper of the 2.
Yeah,
I've got 2 more. I've got the full set.
yeah.
I see. I thought there was only 3. I didn't realise there was 4.
I've got the straight
Wow.
one as well.
I can go get mine. They're just in the next room, but they're yeah, there's more
Yeah.
than 2 for sure.
Could you, Doug?
Yeah, I'll go get them. Hold on.
Paul Hannaby's just put
I
wrong
don't know if it was
cutter
just
for the
me as
diameter.
well. I don't know if it was just me as well, but the kerf width that you drew onto the bowl blade, it seemed wider while you was turning it
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
as well.
So was I mean, this is all a learning experience, folks.
Do
I haven't gone through, but I think I'm in just about
Yeah,
quarter
Paul's
of an inch
saying
from the tenon.
Paul's saying you should have used a tighter radius.
So you should have used the other one.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
I still don't think it's a loss. I think it's still got a nice bowl there if you just clean up the
Yeah.
inside.
Oh, yeah.
you
I
can always
I
add a,
don't think
always
I'm
add a
into the
foot to your tenon.
No, I don't think I'm into the tenon. I think
All
I'm
right.
just about half an inch short of the bottom of the bowl.
Yeah.
Now what I can do is...
That's very conical, that though, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. And you got a code for CA glue, Mark. You could just glue that back in and redo it.
Douglas is saying, Wayne, was there a system called the Centre Saver? That's basically what all the ones that we've mentioned tonight. The Mcnaughton one that Mark's using, the one-way one, the other ones that we've mentioned tonight, they're all Centre Savers. I think you probably find, Mark, the cutter you were using probably gets used on a bowl that's around about 18-inch diameter by about 7-8 inch deep.
That takes some cutting, that though, wouldn't it? Something that big.
It can be done. I'm sure I've done it on mine because I've had a big piece on the VB and used the Mcnaughton.
Have you? Yeah.
I've got my blades here if you want
Yeah.
to see them.
Yeah, let's bring you in. There you
You
go.
were showing one like that one. And
That's
then
the one I didn't use.
Yeah.
That's the one I
There's-
did use.
That's more like what you used. There's one that's just a little bit tighter. And then you get into the smaller set, like
Right.
that one and that one.
Oh wow.
Those are the two I've used the most. I say that. Yeah, this tightest one is the one I did the big cherry with. I got 3 out of each side of the log with that one, and it started off at 14 inches. I took 2 cores out of it with that one.
Hold on, Paul Annaby
Yeah.
saying shouldn't have used the other one. You don't have the right cutter if you only have those 2. Looks more conical. If you position it properly, you can use almost any cutter by checking the path of the tool.
Yeah.
Yes, like if you had the now you would, when you set up the tool to start the cutting, you had the head going in parallel to the outside wall. Am I right?
Yes.
Look, camera back, mate.
Sorry.
Camera.
There you go. No, not that camera. There you go.
There you go.
Yeah. So if you'd moved the tool rest and the sort of castle top out a bit, so you could have actually gone in not parallel with the outside wall, you would have gotten a shallow bowl.
Right. Okay. So I can still salvage it though.
Oh yeah. Even if you cut the bottom out and put another piece in, a contrasting piece in.
Evening, Paul, by the way. I don't think I've seen you in before, Paul. Is this your first time?
And Paul saying good evening back.
Now obviously I can just tidy up the outside of this.
He says yes, he thinks it is.
He's saying he usually sees the flyer too late.
It's good to see you in here, Paul. Hadn't seen you for a little while. I've seen Paul over on Worldwide Woodturners on Wednesday nights. That's the Eddie Castling group. Paul comes in from time to time.
I had the pleasure of looking at Paul's face all day Sunday. He was at the AGM for the AWGB. Because Paul used to be chairman of the AWGB.
Phenomenal turner.
Yeah, he's all right. He's better than this monkey, that's for sure. After this effort tonight.
Paul can't cope with all the 3 a.m. finishes. I understand.
Yeah, that's why I don't go in either.
For you guys, that is awful late. It's it has even started going. We're supposed to end at 10 Eastern time, and we end up going. We officially end, but then we have our after hour show, and we just go on for however long.
Right, so are we saying then that I don't have the right blade to core this size of a bowl?
Oh yeah, you can do it.
Right, okay.
Why not just cut another cone and use the straight blade?
Or start a bit further back.
Right, well then, let's see if we
Or
can
even
get this.
start further out.
Yeah, like Wayne was saying a while ago, instead of cutting parallel to your outside wall, be angled in from the very beginning.
So use the same blade or change to the other blade?
Your
Well, I'll
sharper
tell you what.
curve.
Use the same blade and see what happens.
Use the same blade, but go in at a... Yeah, okay. I know what you're saying.
Kev, yes, you're right. Our website guy he takes the 3 hour meeting and cuts it up into chunks and puts it up on YouTube. Usually on Sunday after the meeting, he gets it up, and it does quite well.
Right, so I'm going to go in at that kind of angle this time. See what happens.
Paul says ideally you would use a blade with something like a 4-inch radius to get an 8-inch core.
Okay.
This will probably end up being a fairly shallow bowl. But not to worry.
Tell you what, that's much easier as well.
Yeah.
Jason says, when you hear metal to metal, you know he went too deep.
Yeah. You know, it's time to start crying at that point.
In my case, you hit 2 nails.
Duh. Get through.
Cha-ching.
That went through a lot quicker.
Yeah, I know what I did wrong with the first one. That was completely user error. But it's a learning experience.
How wide is that cutter tip then, Mark?
3/8 of an inch.
3/8.
You can see with this one where I've changed angle as well. When I went back in the second time, I started going further in to the bottom, because here I was coming round more, and on here I'm going further down and round. So it's down to the angle that you push the tool in.
Absolutely.
So don't just rely on the castle to guide you. You're in charge, which is something I've learned.
Which is the big difference between the Mcnaughton and the other systems.
Yeah, because that one, plenty. I've got just about an inch at the bottom.
Yeah.
Which was what that was measured to have. That was measured to have an inch.
Mm-hmm.
So yes. So I've got to be careful with the top one. And this one, I could probably put the tenon on this one as well. What's the time, guys?
It's
hour 11. mate, you
10
can blink
past
this
9.
time.
yeah, 10 past 9.
Just chuck a tenon on this and then show you the 3 balls.
Kev has asked the question, if you lock the castle, would it keep the cut angle consistent? Mine has gotten jammed with shavings before, and it just makes it hard to use. Doesn't help you at all. Wayne, you've used this a bit. What do you think?
No, I think you're better off keeping it open.
Yeah.
So it actually that way you get better movement with the tool.
Mm-hmm. Allows you to come around that curve.
I hear a lot of good things about the one-way one. I've never actually seen it in action.
I've got it here.
Very similar to the woodcut, though, isn't it? The one way.
It's just down. I've got one here. It's not mine, and it's set up for a Zebrano lathe, which means it's half an inch too short, no, too tall for this one, so I can't use it.
Whose is that?
Which I've got.
Derek's?
Yeah.
I didn't realise he'd got one.
Yeah, probably have Simon out.
All right. So why have you got it?
I was going to borrow it to try it.
Right.
Ward Wilson has come in.
What's going on, Ward?
It's a whole other country.
Hey, Ward.
But when I borrowed it from when I was up there in Newark, we didn't even consider the difference between the 508 and the wave mag.
Right.
In height. It's only an inch. But it's an inch difference in swing.
So what have you got? Have you got 20 over the bed then?
22.
On the Weaver Max 23.
23. So that means it's half an inch too tall, and you can't lower it. You can raise it, you can't lower it. And he wouldn't let me he wouldn't let me cut it.
Yeah, I can kind of understand why.
Why not?
I know, calls himself a friend. I was only going to take half an inch off this.
Douglas says, JP, does it matter what type of wood is used? I presume wood that hasn't got nails in it.
Yeah.
I don't know, buddy. I presume no. I've never used one of these gadget doohickey things. So
I imagine if you get a nice bird or something like that. Imagine if you got access to a nice bird, you could, the advantages must be massive.
Oh, yeah. I think that's where one of these would probably come into their own.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, and if you're having to pay big money for all your blanks, I'm very fortunate. I have access to all the wood I can stand. Not everybody has that, and I know that. So you have to pay for your wood. Taking a couple of bowls out of the center of a bigger piece, you make the money back pretty quick.
Yeah. I always actually wondered if there was a market for part cord bowls.
Yes, there is.
You think so? Yeah.
Jason Wilkins does it.
What, part cord, does it?
Yeah.
Several people here in the States do it.
Right.
Kev has asked, the one-way is a lock system, isn't it? Yes. Your curve is preset. Only thing you have a adjustment in is how far away from your wood that pivot point is. That's your only kind of adjustment.
Right, so I am going to dispel one myth tonight as well that I heard Wayne say earlier.
Oh,
Less
what did I say?
mess. Less mess. Really? Because there's still a lot of shavings on my floor.
Yeah, but them two bowls that you just put on the lathe bed would have been shavings as well.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. Right. This one. So, there you have big bowl, which is almost knackered because I was inexperienced in using this device. And then those two, which I've managed to save. And they're both going to be nice.
Absolutely.
And just to prove that you can do it, that's one I cored earlier today. That's the core that I did take out. That is much smaller because I've had to reduce the height down because I don't know if you can see the rim is very punky and soft down around about 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. So I've been just whittling that one away. But that one came out beautiful. Beautiful piece of spalted beech. And these trees came from
I was going to say,
Tavistock
how dry
area.
is that?
This one was a lot drier than that one. The one I've just done feels just from feel, I'd say probably 25% maybe.
Okay.
20 to 25% it feels. You can
So-
there's definitely moisture. There's
So
definitely
what?
moisture in the shavings.
So what would your plan with that be then? Would you try and get that to an even wall thickness and stack that somewhere? Do you think?
I think I might just paint this with PVA and let it sit and let it warp and dry, and then I'll be very careful with it in maybe a year's time.
Have you measured that one then to see how thick it is at the bottom?
Yeah.
You have. All right, you kept that quiet, didn't you?
Do you want me to do it properly with calipers?
Well, I think you should really. I think it's only right in the interest of transparency. I love that red wall behind you.
We like to see science. Yeah.
Dan Smith, you are an absolute.
It looks like a pink fluffy wall to me.
Well, you keep inviting me on these things. You know what to expect. you know.
Do you know why I keep inviting you? Because you keep throwing a hissy fit when I don't.
I've never thrown a hissy fit. I've just questioned why you don't ask me back.
For a minute.
No?
I'm just glad he's got a fire extinguisher for all of these burns.
What about your raffle tickets, Dan? Have they sold out now?
We've not really spoke about it much, have we? But
No, but we talked about it earlier.
no, and it's to me. I don't know what we're on. I've not seen any come through, to be honest. But then I think we have. We've done pretty good with over the last few weeks. Yeah, we've still got 9 left of the Arbortech ones. Yeah.
Might throw your link in again.
Yeah, I'll do it now. No, I won't, because that's something I've copied and pasted. I've been. We've been. We've been listing people's work, so we've had a lot of work donated from different people to sell. How far is it, Mark? Come on.
I'll show you. Well, here, hold on. Change camera.
Here, we can't see here.
Here, so about there. Can we even go that camera? That's where I banged it with the.
Can you not just get a?
Right.
Can you not just get a
So-
torch?
At that point, right?
Yeah.
It's that, which is
Okay.
ruler, which is
Half an
3/4
inch.
of an inch.
Oh, you got
Plenty
loads.
of
Oh,
room.
that's plenty of room.
Plenty of room.
No, because
Hold
that
up,
was
you're an
here.
RPT. That's plenty of room.
No, that's because that's here. The bottom is another 1/2 inch further.
So you got 1/4 inch wall thickness. There's no wrong with that.
Don't, yeah, just take nothing off the very bottom.
Right.
It's
Straight
got to be
edge.
work. You've got to do it. It's got to be done. You have to finish that now.
In the words of Rob Schneider, you can do it.
5
There's,
mil.
there's no excuse really, is there?
No,
5 mil.
I don't think so.
Oh. 3 mil.
You just
That's plenty.
wow. So
3
if you
mil, and then
dress
I'm into the tenon.
right, so you can't really leave it as a foot, can you?
Oh no. Well, do you know I probably could?
If you could leave it as a foot and dress that foot up, then you'd be fine.
Sure.
Yeah. But it's yeah. It's if I do that,
Or put a second piece on the bottom so you've got a separate foot for it that can go over your tenon.
glue,
And then put
glue
a
block
matching darker piece on the top as well.
around the rim. Yeah.
Yeah.
Frame it.
Yeah.
Good. You got lots of
Good
options.
idea. Thinking. Well, good guys. So we
Yeah.
like. Right. So going far too long. Hour and 22 minutes. Do apologise. Gone over. Bring the guys back in. Close back on, Dan.
That's all right. It's just my trousers.
Thank you, Paul. Yeah. I'm gonna. Here comes Torchy and Bonfirey. No, I'm not gonna burn that one. I'll fix it. It's too nice a bowl to burn.
Don't send it to Pete.
But
It'd already be smoking
think-
by now.
I think
Oh,
the
yeah.
lesson from tonight was the difference between the two cores. The first one was user error, and I went in at the wrong angle, went too
Mhm.
deep, and didn't really know enough to adjust. The second one, filled with the knowledge from you guys and the chat, we worked the problem out and realized same blade, different angle, shallower bowl, and it worked. So it does work.
Sure.
And it's a system you can alter. So you've got
Yeah.
much more play, which can be a dangerous thing because you can leave yourself with a 3mm bottom. Or it can be a good thing because you can alter and go shallow or deeper. So yeah, good learning experience tonight.
So have you used any other coring systems other than that one, Mark?
No, that's the only one I've ever used.
All right. Okay. I was going to ask you for a comparison, but that's not going to work, is it? No.
I've seen the one-way system being used. I've been there when the guy was using it, and it looked ridiculously easy.
Mhm.
So much easier because you're pulling it towards you.
Right.
This you're pushing in.
Yeah.
That one you just literally pull it towards you.
It looked to be a lot
But
to
it's
that one that you've
fixed.
just done.
But it's a fixed shape that you can't
Right.
alter the shape.
The only thing you got to watch out with on the one way is you got to make sure that you push that finger in as you go. There's a
Once
finger.
you've gone in,
Yeah.
Once you've gone in about an inch, take it out, put the finger in, and that's your support then. And
Right.
you have to keep moving that finger in and around
Yes.
as you go deeper because
Yeah.
it has to support that cutting blade.
The
Yeah.
woodcut doesn't have that, but the blade is sitting on a shelf before it goes into the wood anyway. So
Not the shaving foam. No, I'm not doing shaving foam. I saw somebody do shaving foam recently, and it was terrible.
Okay, I'll probably watch the same one you did, Mark.
I think I watched that one.
And
I
then
mean,
it,
you
went
did
south,
that.
it went south right after that as well.
Yeah. Right. Get the bottom is very thin, and I missed the measurement. Maybe a thin wet turning might be best. Yeah, all right. 3 mil all the way down.
Yeah.
I'll send it back to you then, Lewis. So, firstly, I'd like to say massive thank you to Lewis. He did send me this just over a year ago. It took 13 weeks to arrive because customs thought it was a pipe bomb. Not even joking.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was held in their secure unit because they were concerned it was an explosive device. From Canada. I tell you, you gotta watch them Canadians. Canadian
Probably
Liberation
thought it was
Front.
a Tim Hortons.
Yeah,
There you
maybe.
go.
But a massive thank you to Lewis for gifting me this. I will master it. You guys know me. You know I don't give up on stuff. So I will play with this more. So expect to see more of it now I've done it publicly. Thank you to Wayne and Doug and Jamie and Dan for popping in. Go on, Jamie.
Question. You said you don't give up on stuff. What about the black and yellow resin blank I sent you?
Yeah.
It's
I
at
haven't
hand,
given-
Jamie. It's at hand.
I haven't given up on it.
You just haven't started it.
I just don't know what to do with it.
Core it.
Yeah,
Or-
Yeah. Core it. I don't know. So I
Nice
still
little
don't know what to
Budweiser,
do.
Mark.
Yeah, but it's resin.
Yeah.
Could you turn it into a foot for your bowl that you've just created?
Yeah, I might have to.
Yeah, there you go.
Might have to.
Cut a
Um,
slice off and epoxy it on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Susie's asking, have we all seen Ronald Kahn's coring system called the Mastodon? That thing
Nope.
is an absolute beast. You
No,
don't
I
even
haven't seen
shape.
that.
You don't shape the bowls, Wayne. And this thing is the size of a Volkswagen Golf.
Yes.
You
It's
put them
huge.
on as a half log with the face facing you, and you just go, and it takes a bowl out of it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, a bit like that. There was an American factory used one of them all the time.
Mhm.
He said they
Can't
did
remember the
develop
name
it.
of the
It was a takeoff with improvements from another system they'd seen.
Yeah, basically what you do, one way around, you
Jan Van Holt
shape
made it.
shape the outside of the bowl,
Yes.
flip it round, do the inside of the bowl, and you get about 5 or 6 bowls out of one blank.
Mhm.
But it's about 5.5 horsepower motor, which they had to turn down because it was sending bowls halfway across his field.
Can't imagine.
It was just going ping, bye. Right, so thank you. Yeah, my next live. Okay. This is going to dry for a while, folks, so this won't be the next one. I don't think I'm doing a live next week because I'm teaching all next week, so don't expect to see me next week, guys, but maybe the week after. Thank you, Earworms. Do appreciate it,
No props.
even if you do
You're so welcome.
relentlessly take the piss.
Who?
Who?
I
You,
resemble that remark.
You, sir. That's you, sir. Right. Thank you ever so much. I'm going to press the button. So, button's pressed. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Good night.